Thanks for coming out, man.
No problem, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. So introduce yourself to everybody. Who are you and what do you do?
All right. I'm Joseph Staffieri. I was born in Hornell, New York, raised in Angelica, New York, graduated Genesee Valley in 1998,
Okay.
attended Alfred State College,
Oh, really?
99 and 2000,
Okay.
moved to Long Island from there, moved back to Rochester in 2005, helped my father open up the pizza stop at Midtown Plaza,
Nice.
and then 2008, Midtown Plaza had its eminent domain,
Okay.
where we relocated out to Henrietta in 2009
Huh.
and started Joe's Brooklyn Pizza.
That's crazy. The building went under eminent domain.
Eminent domain. Yep.
That's awesome. That's where the city basically takes it over.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
they wanted to tear Midtown down
Jesus.
and make a new building. Never came to fruition.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do they pay you? Do they pay a fair rate for it, or do they just take?
We got a little bit of relocation money.
Okay, that's
but,
cool. Yeah.
But it didn't cover everything. You had to be a bunch of money in through construction and
Yeah.
lease it before you saw anything.
Yeah.
So,
I've always wondered how that works.
yeah.
I've heard of that stuff of eminent domain before, but I don't know, never understood how much do you really get for it?
You got about half.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, yeah. If it took about 150,000 to open up, you got about 65, I think it was.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Huh. So, and what year? When did that take place? When did that happen?
We set up in 2009.
Wow.
Yeah, we were open for business.
Okay.
Yep.
And that's the Henrietta spot.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And that one's still there, right? Is that
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's the first,
First Joe's Brooklyn, yep.
and then now there's 4.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, we, after Henrietta in 2014, we opened up in Perrington. And then in 2016, we opened up in Brighton. And then in 2021, we opened up in Webster.
Okay. Nice. So what's it like owning 4 pizza shops?
It's, it can be interesting, I guess. You just take it day by day.
Yeah.
And have to have good people working for you.
Mm-hmm.
Have to have people you can trust.
Yeah.
And because no one can do it by themselves.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not with 4.
Right.
Yeah. What's what's it like in Rochester? I've been trying to figure out what's Rochester, what's the Rochester style of pizza.
Yeah, the Rochester style pizza is more of a little bit of a thicker style.
Okay.
Kind of like your Salvatores, your Marks,
Okay. Yeah.
your Perry's. It's more of I consider a gas station pizza.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That's
Yeah.
a good. Yeah. It's a good way of describing
Yeah,
it.
has a thicker, doughier, heavier pizza.
Yeah. Okay. Lighter.
But not necessarily lighter.
Not
To me, it's
lighter.
more greasier,
Okay.
more heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So people have described it before. To me, it sounds like a close cousin to Buffalo style pizza.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah.
Not as good, but close cousin.
To me, I see it's more, like I said, more of the thicker, doughier,
Yeah.
maybe a little bit too heavy on the cheese, maybe sometimes.
Okay. Yeah. But you guys don't make that. You don't make that style at Joe's.
Our traditional style is the thin Brooklyn style.
Yeah.
And but we do make a Sicilian thick crust.
Yeah. I just had
And-
it the other day.
And I do the stuffed pizza,
Yeah.
which is our version of a Chicago style.
Okay.
Just a little variety.
Yeah, those videos. Listen, I don't know if Tim's told you, those videos that I've posted of those two, so far I've done the Brooklyn Bomber and then the mac and cheese. Those 2 videos combined are over 4 million views.
Oh yeah, they're definitely popular. You got to try the barbecue and our homemade barbecue sauce because I know you like a spicy barbecue.
Yeah. I haven't had that one yet. I just tried the spinach and bacon and garlic.
Yeah, you got to try this. You got to try our homemade our barbecue.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's I can't get over how well those videos would go crazy. The Brooklyn Bomber, most of the comments are that looks good.
Yeah.
The mac and cheese one, most of the comments are that looks awful. But everybody's got their own
Everyone's
thing.
got their own opinion. Everybody has their
Right.
mac and cheese stuffed pizza. My personally favorite either.
Right.
But if someone likes it,
But if you're looking for that
Right.
cheese overload pie, that's the one that you would
Right.
go with. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, for
Right.
sure. Do people buy those a lot? Do those what's are people coming in? What's the style that people are getting most at Joe's? Are they getting that, the Sicilian, the normal?
I
New
mean,
York?
the staple is your thin crust, cheese, pepperoni. But
Yeah.
the specialty pizzas are always popular. Depends on what area you're in, because from town to town, it's different. What specialty pizzas go over?
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
everybody's taste is different.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I was surprised, like especially the Brooklyn Bomber. I was surprised how much I liked it.
Yeah,
You know,
it's a great pizza.
Right.
It's
Yeah. It's just if you know pizza and you see somebody pull out two doughs, they're making a large and then a medium to go on top of it, your first thought is this is gonna be awful. You know, it's like
Right.
this isn't gonna be good. But especially the Brooklyn Bomber, I was surprised how good it was.
oh yeah, it's all good ingredients too. So
Yeah.
as long as it's made the right way, it's going to be good.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so your dad started back in 2009, the current original location, right?
In Henrietta, yes.
In Henrietta, and then carrying on today, so going on for 16 years now. What have some of the challenges been? Like how have things changed in 16 years in the pizza business in Rochester?
From one store to 4 stores, when you're one store, you could focus a lot on specialty stuff. But then as you expand, the consistency has to be there.
Yeah.
So you can't be as specialized because people are always coming, the turnover of employees. So you always got to make sure they're able to do so you got to keep it consistent.
Yeah.
And more streamlined than trying to try all these crazy different stuff because you have 4 stores to maintain now.
Yeah.
So you can't really afford to venture off and to try something new.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting.
And then you have turnover employees, and it's the restaurant business, so there's always turnover and just always different challenges.
Yeah.
And keeping consistency throughout the store is very important too. That's why if you have one store, you could always just but when you have 4 stores, you got to start weighing everything. Like you got to weigh your cheese, you got to weigh just because you want consistency through all 4 stores.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's got to be tough to to have 4 stores that are so far, so separated, and then, I've had friends who have owned restaurants in the past, but they open up their second restaurant across the street, from the first one, so it's kind of easy. I think of the Classic and Rome in Rochester, same couple that owns it, but they're across the street, so
Right.
they can run across the street if something happens. But when you've got 4 different stores spread out, it's more challenging to kind of keep your thumb on everything.
Yeah. I've been fortunate. Like I say, I have good general managers in each store.
Nice.
And I have a VP of operations who handles a lot of the stuff.
Oh, nice.
So I can focus more on running the stores.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are you in one of the stores often? What's your home base?
I've been in Webster pretty much since that was the last store we opened. I've been in there since we opened it.
Okay, cool.
And I try to stay in each store until we move on to the next one.
Yeah.
And I'm in the process of licensing out my other stores. I licensed out the Parenton store back in July.
Okay.
And then hopefully get owner-operators licensed in the other locations.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the next step of once you expand so far.
Yeah, for sure. Is that part of your hope with the business, is to kind of turn it into more of a local chain or franchise, so to speak?
Yeah. Something to carry on my father's legacy for
That's cool.
forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
As long as people want to keep on making pizza and eating pizza.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. That's Mark's Pizza out in Rochester isn't as big as it used to be, because they used to have a ton of locations here in Syracuse, and then 6-7 years ago, I feel like
I feel like they tried to downsize
Okay.
with the healthcare regulations. I think they were over a certain amount of stores they had to be.
Okay.
But I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I know they downsized a little bit. Yeah. Salvatore's is big too.
Okay. Yeah. Salvatore. Oh, that's right. I always forget about Salvatore's.
Yeah. Salvatore's big in Rochester.
Yeah. So the original out in Rochester is what's the considered the first one? I forget, it starts with a P, doesn't it?
What's that?
The first pizzeria in Rochester.
The very official pizzeria?
Yeah.
Right? I don't even know. Maybe
Pontillo's.
Pontillo's is probably one of the one of the
Yeah. I think somebody told me that was the first one. So then the big chains out, the local spots, is really what? Cam's, Mark's,
Perry's,
Pontillo's. And Salvatore's?
Yeah.
Like those 5? Okay.
Cam's isn't as big as much anymore as it used to be.
No, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody was telling, I feel like, was it Luis that was telling me this? There's like, I don't know, let's say 200 pizza shops in Rochester, and they're owned by like 20 different families, or like 20 different businesses. Like there's like a few pizza shops that own like multiple
Probably.
pizza
Yeah,
shops.
I could see that.
Yeah.
And I know Rochester's one of the most pizza places per square, whatever.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's one of the highest pizza cities in the country.
That's funny.
Yeah.
You'd think that there would be more of like an identifier and like the style of, like more of a thing, like Buffalo, like
Right.
Even Syracuse. Like Syracuse has its own style of pizza. I don't know if you've ever been to Twin Trees.
I haven't, no.
Twin Trees has been here for decades. Syracuse style pizza is it's not like thick, but it's thicker than New York style.
Okay.
And it's cut in strips, and it should be a Locatelli mozzarella blend for the cheese.
Okay.
And good Syracuse style is like cooked a little crispier.
Okay.
So that's Syracuse style pizza. It was started by this pizza shop over on the west side called Shuffles back in the day. And so if you would go in there and you would get Shuffles pizza, it was like a little bit of a sweeter sauce, mozzarella Locatelli, and then cubed Italian sausage that he made. And then Twin Trees kind of carried on that tradition.
And they're still in Syracuse doing it?
Twin Trees has been, it's funny. There's a Twin Trees, like if we're sitting in one location, there's another one like 50 yards away.
They close to here? I'd like to try them, actually.
Not far. I mean, we're in Syracuse, so everything's pretty close.
Right.
Twin Trees are over, the one you got to go to is over in Solvay. Let me see what time they open. Twin Trees. But, so, I don't, do you follow like Portnoy at all?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about him for the pizza industry? I know some people hate him.
I can't. I hope he comes to my store one day.
Yeah,
if you're watching, come out and see me sometime, Dave.
Yeah.
Right.
Some restaurant owners hate him. Some pizza shop owners hate him.
I don't know what's to hate about him. He unless he's gonna, tear apart your pizza.
Right.
But I'm pretty confident he would like our pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could say the New York style
Yeah.
for sure. I don't know how he would take
Plus,
the Brooklyn Bomber
Yeah. I don't think
for his style.
Yeah. He's more of a traditional guy. So.
Yeah. 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 It's. What do you think about? I mean, there's pizza's getting so different nowadays. Like, you've got people out there who are like going crazy, super like gourmet style pizza.
There's always going to be some fad coming out. There's always, throwing something against the wall, seeing what sticks.
Yeah.
And very little of it sticks. Mm-hmm. It always reverts back to cheese or pepperoni is going to be your most popular item.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, there's always some fad coming out.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. All right. So the pizza shop moves in 2009. We were talking a little bit before we got started, though. So how did your dad get into the pizza business?
We grew up in the pizza business.
Okay.
My grandfather had a pizzeria in Long Island.
Okay.
My dad worked there as a kid. And then eventually my grandfather closed the pizzeria because my aunt got very sick. And then my father met Bill Giovanello, who had a pizzeria in St. James.
Okay.
Where Bill came from out in Brooklyn.
Gotcha.
Having his own store. And then Bill decided to move to Hornell, New York in 1976. And my father moved with him to help Bill open up the Pizza King.
Do you know why he moved there? I mean, it seems like such a different...
Because Bill's brother Pete moved to Wellsville, New York.
Gotcha.
And opened up the Pizza King in Wellsville, New York.
Okay.
And Pete told Bill that you got to come check this place out in upstate New York, and just like our hometown in Italy.
Huh.
So Bill moved out to Angelica, New York, bought a farmhouse out in Angelica, New York.
That's cool.
76.
That's interesting.
Yep.
Yeah. So from Long Island out to Hornell of all places.
Hornell, Angelica. Yep. Right middle of nowhere.
Yeah. I mean, parts of Long Island, you know, you can feel like you might be in the middle of nowhere also, you know.
Further out east, yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's wild to see, you know, that sort of migration into places like Hornell.
Yep.
All right, so you guys are in Hornell, and then your dad comes to Rochester?
Yep. My dad, him and Bill parted ways at one point.
Okay.
And my dad got into, he opened up a smoke shop
Okay.
on State Street in Rochester.
What's a smoke shop like back in the day? I mean, it's obviously not like weed and shit like it is today.
No, but paraphernalia. It was all with the thought that weed would be legal within the next few years.
Wow.
So,
So what's that? What did they open like in the 80s or the 90s?
yeah, the smoke shop was up early 80s.
Okay.
Yeah, 81,
Wow.
82, somewhere around there.
Okay.
And business was good, booming. And about 85, my father bought the building that it was in.
That's cool.
And then around 86, he renovated the building and opened up the pizza shop in one of the pizza stop.
Okay.
Pizza stop in 86 with my uncle. And the rest is history.
Yeah. Big family? Like, do you come, you know, like how many siblings do you have?
I have 3 sisters.
Okay.
Yep.
Are they in the business at all?
No, they do their own thing.
Okay.
They do their own thing.
Oh, and
My
Rochester.
sister was making cookies, though, when we were in Midtown. Her cookies. I still have people ask me about her cookies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, cookies and brownies.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So your dad's passed now, is that right?
Yeah, my father passed away last year.
Okay. Is any of his siblings still around? His brother?
He has 2 brothers still. My Uncle Jim, who was the owner of the pizza stop,
Okay.
and my Uncle Bobby, still in Florida.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Do your Uncle Jim have any kids? I'm trying to figure out the family legacy here with pizza. It seems
Yeah,
like it's crazy to think that, like, you know,
My-
it's so long. It's like such a vast history in pizza with your grandfather.
My Uncle Jim had my cousin, Chris and Greg,
Okay.
who were in the pizza business.
Oh, really?
Yep.
In Rochester?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. They're the pizza stop.
Oh, same.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, they're
cool.
still a pizza stop, yeah.
Nice.
Yep. And the pizza stop is still in the, well, actually, it's a couple doors down, but it's still on State Street.
Oh,
In the
okay.
same location.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out next time I'm out there.
Yep.
Yeah. That's crazy. So your grandfather's got this pizza shop in Long Island years and years and years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And then, you know, that family tradition carries on into Rochester here. You know, that's crazy.
Yep.
That's pretty deep.
Yep. And my goal is to keep it going.
Yeah.
For another
However many years.
however many years.
Yeah. You have any kids?
I don't have any kids, no.
Yeah.
My stores are my kids, I call them.
That's true. It's,
Yeah.
it's pretty accurate.
Yeah. So if you want to do the restaurant business, it's very difficult to have a family,
Yeah.
and it's a lot of sacrifice. Mm-hmm. So it's a sacrifice I had to make.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I had a friend who for years I've helped him with his marketing, and he owns a diner in town that's been in business. His family's had it for 50 years. And you know, at one point, especially during COVID, he wanted to get out of it. And so he was always talking to me about like taking it over and eventually buying it. And you know, it's nice. Like if you're going to be, I feel like if you're going to be in the restaurant industry, diner's not the worst thing to be in terms of like lifestyle, because, you know, it's like early mornings, but a lot of these places like his, like they shuts down at 2 or 3 in the afternoon.
There's still always something going on, though.
There's still always
There's
something
still
going on.
always
For
something
sure.
going on.
Yeah.
Your inbox is always full. Like I said, and,
Yeah. Yeah. But it's not like a dinner play, you know, like, you know, you're not open till midnight.
right.
But, and so like that was sort of a perk of possibly thinking about it, but it's still like, listen, you're, no matter what, you're there. You know, you're
Yeah.
there all the freaking
Yeah,
time.
you're all the time, and there's not much social life, and
Yeah.
so you got to either be in it or because there's no just dipping your toes in it. You got to be in it all the way.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely a commitment for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and raising a family just makes it even more difficult.
Yes.
So.
My wife, we've got a 2-year-old at home, and I owned a ghost kitchen here in Syracuse. Not really a ghost kitchen, but you know, like a virtual kitchen. So, a buddy of mine owns a couple barbecue shops and restaurants in Syracuse, and one of them he had in like the northern neighborhood. wasn't like crazy busy. It's like they're bustling during the summertime and like spring and summer, but then fall and winter time they die right off.
What's a ghost kitchen? Is that where you have like machines making the food?
No, so like a real ghost kitchen, like an actual ghost kitchen, is imagine building 5 different kitchens right here in this space that we're sitting in.
Oh, and then you lease it out to people?
Yeah.
I heard of that. Yeah. There's a couple places like that in Rochester.
Are there really?
Yeah. You rent it by the month or by the week or something?
Well, you should. I mean, it should be like a leased thing. Like, it should be, they should be there for a bit,
Okay.
You really don't want somebody popping in for like a week at a time. And some ghost kitchens, like, yeah, you might build out the warehouse and the kitchens and then lease them out to, people that want to get into the industry but don't have $250,000, right?
Right.
Or you might just open up 5 or 6 different concepts yourself, and then you own the concepts
Right.
and run it. But they're meant for only delivery and only third-party deliveries. So they're not. I can't see them being crazy successful in like I can't say a real ghost kitchen being crazy successful in like Rochester. They're meant for like Indianapolis and
You would have to open up with a lot of big social media push or something to have
for sure
people know that you're there, and because you're only gonna be there for a limited amount of time.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
and you need to make money right when you started.
Right. Which nowadays it's possible to do that.
Oh yeah,
for sure,
You can definitely blast your presence out there, and come in a certain date,
right,
location.
Yeah, the restaurant industry as a whole is if you do it well, is completely different advertising today than it was a decade
Oh yeah,
ago.
like I said, everything's moving more towards social media,
Yeah.
podcast, and TikTok, Instagram.
Yeah, for
to
sure.
where before, you get radio ads or put it listed in the phone book,
Right. Yeah, exactly.
or TV commercials if you're big, big time.
Yeah.
And now people don't even watch TV anymore.
No. And they don't listen to the radio unless it's like on in the background somewhere.
Right.
Right. It's not like active listenership.
Right.
And then the numbers are so off when it comes to traditional advertising. I once, when I first started this 9 years ago, we ran newspaper ads for a client, and the one of the ways we did to like test to see, there was like 3 newspapers, and we wanted to test and see if like what the response was going to be. And so we ran this ad that said, it was for the Market Diner. So it said, "I love the Market Diner because fill in the blank, tear this out and bring it in for 30% off your meal." It was something aggressive to see like people would do it.
Yeah, you probably got a handful of return.
Yeah, well, our thought was like, we'll take this wall and we'll put all the responses up there. It'll be cool. It'll be like a little thing, And the one major newspaper in Syracuse brought back like 2 to 1 what we spent on the ad. And then the other 2 small ones brought in like nothing, almost nothing. And so we were like, all right, well, we're going to stop advertising with those 2. When I called those 2 newspapers, the one of them said, he was like, yeah, but you're reaching so many people. It's like, well, what's your distribution? He's like, well, we've got 40,000 people that read this paper every month. Like, there's no fucking way that you have 40. And what I learned was they print 10,000 papers, and they guess that paper is going to be sitting on a coffee table or in a lobby somewhere, and that 4 people are going to read that one paper.
There's nowhere near the reach social media can get for advertising.
No, not for the same money, for sure.
Like I said, a million. How many million people saw those?
4
videos?
million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would never be able to get that through a newspaper ad.
No, not at all. Yeah, not at all.
So
it'd take you 2 years to get that many people on a newspaper ad. Yeah.
Right.
And cost you.
There's not even that many people in Rochester.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And cost like 20 times more.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy, And it's such a big deal. I mean, not every video obviously does that, but the video I posted last night is probably going to reach 20,000 people, but that's still 20 fucking thousand people.
Yeah. Again, even to get that in a radio ad or a newspaper ad.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
All right.
Yeah. We're doing, so I was telling Tim about this. We're launching in April, the first ever statewide restaurant week. And so It's going to be called Eat Local New York Restaurant Week. So restaurants from Buffalo to Long Island are all participating.
Oh, nice.
And if it's like a sit-down restaurant, they can do a prefix, menu, 3-course for $40. If it's not, it's a coffee shop, it's a pizza shop, whatever. They can just say, hey, we're going to do a special, like we're going to do a $10 pepper or whatever the fuck it is, right? To participate. And so I'm building out the sponsorship packet to get corporate sponsors for it right now. And, I'm going through like what I can tell them to expect for numbers. Like if you're the top sponsor and I mention you in all my social media posts over the course of the month and a half that I'm going to be advertising this thing, or 2 months, I went back through 2 months worth of my videos. It's like 2 million people, just not even like the big stuff. If I include your videos, it's 6 million people, but just 2 million people just on that stuff. And it cost a fortune to reach that many people with radio.
I mean, just like if you were trying to do a mailing list, 2 million mailers.
Could you imagine how much that would cost? That'd be incredible. Right. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. So, but ghost kitchens are, they're meant for like bigger, like they'd probably do well in Buffalo. I'm sure there's a ton of them in New York City, but a ghost kitchen is just for like, you've got 4 different concepts. You've got like a burger and maybe a deli sort of a style.
I would assume it'd have to be a pretty limited menu, limited specialized menu.
Yeah, to a certain extent. Yeah. I mean, you don't want to go crazy with it.
Yeah. I personally, that's the best way to run any food establishment.
Yeah.
A smaller menu.
Right.
Specialize in one thing.
Yeah.
So many places try to overextend themselves and then nothing is good.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you see an American spot all of a sudden start doing Asian food, you should probably not trust Asian food.
Any place you want to go that has a menu that it takes you 5 minutes to go through, it's.
Yeah. Although it works for Cheesecake Factory for some reason.
I don't know how. I never understood the hype with Cheesecake Factory. I went there a couple times and.
Yeah, because there's one out in Rochester, right?
Yeah, I went to a back on Long Island when I was living out there.
Yeah,
and I heard about the Cheesecake Factory. I'd see the appeal to it.
Yeah,
but you can't. They pull in people. It's always a wait when you try to go there.
Right. So, we had the virtual kitchen. A virtual kitchen there's ghost kitchens, what we were talking about. A virtual kitchen is like basically say you wanted to open up a taco shop, but you didn't want to risk opening up another type of restaurant. You would start making tacos out of Joe's, but it would be delivery only. So people only know about it. Like customers can't walk in and order it. You're not going to have Joe's Tacos sign up, hanging up in the shop. And it would just
I feel like IHOP was doing that with the grilled cheese place.
They were.
Okay.
Yeah. They were doing it because there's different ways to do it. You could go license a Mr. Beast burger right now and open up a Mr. Beast burger in your restaurant. No one's ever going to advertise Joe's Brooklyn Pizza is now Mr. Beast burger also. But if I go on Grubhub and I see Mr. Beast burger, I can place the order and it comes from your restaurant.
Right.
I don't know that as the consumer, but but that's so there's those things were popular. So we opened up a virtual kitchen inside my buddy's barbecue shop and had it for about a year. We called it 3-1 Fried. The area code here is 315, so it was like 3-1 Fried. It was just fried chicken sandwiches. It was dine in or takeout or delivery. And, we had it for a year, but essentially, without getting all the details, essentially that thing was really going around the time my son was born. So my wife and I bring home our newborn, and then for those next 2 months, I'm up at this restaurant working.
I couldn't even imagine trying to raise a newborn and run a food business at the same time. It just
stupid.
I get anxiety. I get anxiety for you thinking about that.
Yeah. So what's the difference? Like, when I think of like New York City and Long Island and like, pizza history and culture out there is so different from Rochester.
Right.
What do you?
I think it's more than just the evolution of pizza as it goes more easier to make, more able to mass produce more. Easier dough to make. They start using conveyor belt ovens because it cooks the pizza faster.
Yeah.
They don't have to watch it in the oven.
Yeah.
Just evolution to mass produce the pizza.
Yeah.
Where the style we do, it's more, hand pressed. It's oil pressed, not flour pressed like a lot of places do.
Okay.
Where they put flour on both sides. You know, we use the block whole milk mozzarella.
Yeah.
Or a lot of places they'll buy a shredded mozzarella, or they'll blend their mozzarella with like a provolone or some sort of cheese.
Yeah.
It's just a way to cheapen it a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
We use the fresh garlic, fresh basil in our pizza sauce.
Yeah. So the 4 locations, do you have like a central kitchen that cooks like the sauces and shreds the cheese and then sends it out to the restaurants?
No, we do everything in house.
Wow.
Yeah, we do everything in house.
Okay. Yeah. So each restaurant's doing their own thing. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's I can't imagine, like you were saying earlier, trying to keep the quality and like everything down when you've got 4 different,
Yeah.
8 different sets of hands, however many sets of hands doing it.
Yeah, it's I make sure people are following recipes and following weights. It's like,
Yeah.
and your quality control. It'll be in the taste. It'll be in. You'll hear it back from the customers too if anything's different.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
What you do, It's been a growing process since we started.
Yeah. All right. So do you have favorite spots, favorite restaurants in Rochester that you go to?
I go to the Winfield a bunch. It's right down the street from my house.
Okay.
Delmonico's is really good in Rochester.
Okay.
I'm a huge Chinese food fan.
Oh, really?
Big time. Cheng Garden is really good in Brighton.
Okay.
Sal's Birdland is really good.
I love Sal's. Yeah.
Bobo's Chicken Shack. Got to give a shout out to Bobo.
Really?
His place is really good.
I'm going to add that to my list right now.
Yeah.
Somebody told me, a lot of people were telling me to go to Country
His
Street.
hours are very sporadic though, but his if you like soul food, his food is great.
Okay, I do. Bobo's Chicken Shack.
Yeah.
Where's it at?
Joseph Ave.
Okay. So many people were telling me Country Sweet. And
Country Sweet is good. As I got a little bit older, their sauce got a little too sweet for me.
okay.
So Sal's Birdland is where I like.
The sauce I could sort of get behind. It was just like going to the restaurant itself. Their social media looks like a modern, clean, super white, like friendly restaurant. And I'm like,
would you go to one on Mount Hope? Which one did you go? Because there's only a couple now.
yeah, I think it was Mount Hope that people told me was like the one to go to.
I feel like that one closed down.
Whichever, it was like it wasn't like a rough part of town, but it was like it was in a plaza.
Right.
And I went in there, I ordered it was like, all right, if I'm here, I'm going to try a little bit of everything. So I got like the big sampler of like ribs and chicken and 2 sides. Placed the order, no joke, within like 2 minutes, Anthony, your food's ready. I was like, what the fuck? So I get you're not cooking ribs from scratch right there, but anyway, so I get the food, but I open it, but it was just half rack of ribs, breaded chicken wings, and the 2 sides on the white bread. But then it just looked like somebody just like dumped
the Country Sweet
sauce
over it,
all over everything.
That's a style.
Yeah.
I used to love country. I would get mac salad with the bread, the wings and Country Sweet sauce all over everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I could get behind it, like depending on the mood, but just like people were saying it's like the best thing that's ever existed.
Have you tried Sal's Birdland?
Yeah, I love Sal's.
Okay,
Birdland.
yeah, I like their. I think they call it sassy sauce.
Yeah,
I like that better than the country because the country is a little too sweet.
Yeah, but Country Sweet sauce, it's like a prerequisite if you're going to open a restaurant in Rochester.
Oh,
you have to have
I do a Country Sweet pizza. It's very popular.
Yeah,
yeah, just chicken and Country Sweet sauce.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think I need to. Oh wait, did I try that? I didn't. No, somebody else just did it. I need to try that at Joe's next time.
Yeah, we have we do the Country Sweet, then we make homemade buffalo sauce and our homemade barbecue sauce.
Okay. Yeah. So I did. Tim let me do like my own wing, and I did half buffalo and half Country Sweet, I think.
Okay.
And it was good. It was really good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, I was just out at BTB in the mall.
Bathtub Billy's.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's funny you say that because when I was there, I asked them, I was like, what does BTB stand for? And they said nothing.
Oh, God.
But then everyone else is like, it stands for Bathtub Billy's.
Right. Yeah, that's a new location they're at. They were in a plaza on, I think, Ridge Road at one point.
Okay. It's a big restaurant.
Yeah.
Huge inside.
Oh, big menu.
Yeah.
Yeah, huge menu.
Yeah. Actually, I didn't look at the menu because I went in there for a video and they just, I was like, whatever, 4 things. And they, you know, and I think, all right, I looked at it online, but, you know, they sent out the 4 things, but it wasn't bad. I like the, you know, they do have, everything's a little different. Like their chicken tenders are all, seem like they're like beer battered almost.
Okay.
The garbage plate was good, you know, or the plate. The pizza, you know.
Pizza, like I said, it's a thicker crust pizza.
Yes.
Not sure what type of oven they use, but I'm pretty sure they use the cup and sharp pepperoni. Last time I remember,
I didn't. So they made me like a fried chicken pizza with country sweet, like you just mentioned. Except they do cook it in a wood fired oven.
It's a wood fire. Okay, yeah, that's what they're advertising now. That's right.
And I was shocked at how thick and doughy it was, being it came out of a wood fired oven. You know, like typically a wood fired oven, you're thinner, you're crispier.
Yeah, if my pizza, I expect my pizza to be almost as crisp as a cracker if it's coming out of a wood oven.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So I was really surprised at that.
I'm pretty sure they run at a lot higher temperature than a gas oven.
Yeah.
Wood ovens. I think they get like 600 or 700 degrees.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the spot for sure. I mean, theirs wasn't anything blazing. You know, if you're working like, if you're like wood fired Neapolitan, you're at like 900 or 1,000 degrees.
Okay.
You know, because you need that big pop really quickly. It's a super wet dough. You know, that's really malleable. Like you could take a Neapolitan pizza and fold it up and put it in your pocket if you wanted to.
Right, right.
You know,
I keep our ovens at 550.
Okay. Yeah. I make a lot of pizza at home, but I make pan pizzas. I make like a Detroit or a Grandma.
Okay.
And it's 500 is the max that my home gas oven goes to.
Okay. A lot of convection ovens now can get up to that high.
Yeah.
Even higher, yeah.
Yeah. I bought a rock box, you know, the outdoor propane, you know, fired ovens, and those things get up to like 900 or 1,000 degrees.
Okay.
But they're tough to work with. They're really small inside, so you can only do like a 12-inch pie. Yeah,
and 1,000 degrees probably cook really quick.
If you don't spin it within like a few seconds, you burnt the back of it because
really?
The flame's in the back, so you got to constantly spin it. You know, yeah. So I went to BTB and it was okay. You know, there was good stuff in there for sure. They had good wings. You know, the plate. I was surprised how much I liked the plate. But you know, what do you think about not being a necessarily Rochester native? You know, what do you think about the garbage plate?
Oh, I go way back for Rochester. I'm pretty much almost, but I like the plate. Plates are really good. But my place was always Henrietta Hots. I thought Henrietta Hots had a great plate.
Okay.
And then the plates at the Winfield are great too.
Really?
Yeah.
The Winfield. I need to add that too. What kind of a restaurant is the Winfield?
It's bar. It's a bar grill.
Okay.
So, yeah, Winfield's great. It's like closest place to my house in Rochester.
Okay.
I've been going there for years.
So, bar and grill. What are they known for there?
Probably their chicken wings.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Chicken. You know.
Is that your favorite wing in Rochester?
I'm not a big chicken wing guy, but if I do order the Winfield makes really good wings.
Okay. You're not a big chicken wing guy?
No, not really.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was surprised how much I liked them. Tim talked me into trying the wings at Joe's.
Oh yeah, we do a baked wing.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different than what the people are used to. A lot of people used to fried wings.
Right.
But
yeah,
I hate deep fryers, so I would never have them in my store. So we bake, and a lot of people don't like them, but a lot of people do like the baked wing just because
I like them. Yeah.
It's not fried in the grease.
Right.
I always tell people you would never eat the grease that the chicken wing is fried in.
Yeah. That's
so why would you eat the chicken wing?
Yeah, that's true.
So
yeah. Is that why? So why don't you like fryers? Just because they're a pain in the ass?
They make your store stink really bad. You can't smell the good pizza that you're making.
That's true.
The oil gets everywhere. It gets on the walls, gets on your shirt, gets on your skin.
Yeah.
They got to be maintained. It's cost to maintain them.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
those are all pretty valid fucking reasons.
Yeah. You got to get a hood system for them.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of red tape that comes along with them.
Yeah, for sure.
And you got to trust the people that you're hiring are going to clean them properly.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a number of restaurants I go into to make videos. I'm in the back cooking, and they drop something in the fryer, and like it disappears. You can't see it because the oil's so black because they haven't changed it.
Or then the one night the guy dumps the grease all over the floor.
Yeah.
Trying to clean it and like
Yeah.
just the the headache that comes along with fryers. I never wanted to be involved with them.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Was it like that at Joe's back in the day when did your dad ever have fryers?
We never had fryers.
Okay, that's
we never had fryers. I worked in places that had fryers.
Yeah.
And I always said if I ever had my own place, I would never put a fryer in it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is amazing what you can get with what you can do with fried food, technically, when you're not frying it.
You could bake it at a very high heat and it come up just as much as
Right.
like.
Yeah, I prefer it like a really charred wing, and so if I make wings at home, I use my Weber kettle, and there's this thing called the vortex, and you put it right in the center. It's like a cone. You put your coals in the middle. So I cook on the outside of it, nice and like 350 for like 20, 30 minutes, and then right about the time they're done, I baste them and then put them right over the coals so they flame up and get nice and
That
charred.
sounds good. Yeah, we pretty much bake the wings in the 550-degree oven for like, depends on how crispy you want to get them, but for like 18, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And I think they get pretty crispy.
Yeah, they do.
And
Yeah.
and again, you're not eating the grease. And I eat grease and my stomach hurts 10 minutes later.
Yeah. Yeah. Tim's trying to talk me into trying the ribs at your shop.
The ribs are very good too. I can't take credit for those. Those are, I believe they're Hormel ribs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Which are very good though.
Yeah.
Good product. It's a very good product.
Yeah. I used to live in Texas, so I'm used to like, if I have ribs, I'm thinking like they're coming off a smoker or something, but
they're not, but they're a good product. And I would recommend using our homemade barbecue sauce on them too.
okay. All right. Yeah. Next time I'm out, I'm going to try them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys sell a lot of ribs in the stores? Do all four do it?
No, not really.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those things you get to have for people that, you sell maybe a couple orders a day.
Yeah.
The main thing's pizza.
Yeah. You like Chinese food, man. You guys should do a spare rib pizza.
Anything's possible.
That might go against as like a pizza purist. That might go against everything, but
yeah, we've done some. We messed around with it. Put General Tso's on a pizza with
yeah,
we've played around with it before.
Nice. Yeah. All right, so Henrietta Hots, I got to get there. I've heard that a lot from people in Rochester for the best plate. Yeah.
But I like my plate with cheeseburger, mac salad, and French fries. And my French fries got to be well done.
Okay.
And hold the onions.
Oh, really? Okay. You do mustard on top?
Ketchup and mustard with hot sauce.
Okay. Yeah.
Not a big onion guy. Never have been.
Okay. Yeah, the plate at BTB, I was surprised how good it was. It was they told me they had won a bunch of awards for their meat hot, it was good. I like Tahoe's.
Tahoe's was good.
Yeah.
If I remember, they strictly used home fries. I didn't like the home fries.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is what BTB does too. They do home fries.
I'm not a fan of the home fries.
Yeah. I'm not, I'm of the opinion, like, if the inventor of the thing did it, like, that's the standard. There may be a different version that I like better, but that's the standard of like how it should be done.
Just like I tell everybody, the standard of pizza is a slice of cheese.
Right. Exactly.
Everything comes off of that. But if a place can't do a slice of cheese right, they're not doing.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And so, like, I like Tahoe for that, even though a lot of people are like, Tahoe sucks, don't go, whatever the case is. But they're still the original.
Yeah, that's always what people always start hating on the original. So if you don't have haters, you're not doing it right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's true. It is weird to think that, like, nobody, like, they own the term garbage plate.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they call it trash plate. They just call it plate.
Yeah.
Everyone knows what it is now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So a lot of people have told me Dogtown is like really good for plates out there.
Never been to Dogtown.
Really?
Yeah.
I've been there for a hot dog before and I liked it, but I need to get out there and try their plate.
I've heard they're, I think, on Monroe Ave.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah.
Yeah. I need to, I think in 2025, I'm going to do like a...
If you're in that area, you got to try a Cedar. Cedar's really good. If you like
What's that?
Mediterranean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I've seen that before.
Yeah, they do. think they're from Lebanon.
Okay, gotcha.
They're good.
Yeah. So the future of Joe's is you just kind of like licensing it out to some of the people that are there now, or
That's the goal. Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Get owner operators in the other 2 locations, and then hopefully get other people that want to open up around the state, around the city.
Yeah.
And then train people out of my Webster location.
Okay. Yeah. So is that the ultimate goal? Is to like just build out a bunch of locations? Is it to, like have a few more and then kind of relax, or like if you had to?
I personally don't want to open up anymore. No, I would like to assist other people opening and license out my other 2 locations.
Okay.
And create something that could carry on for another 50 years.
Yeah. How old are you?
I turned 45.
Okay.
This December.
Gotcha. Nice. Yeah. It's there's a story of I forget in Los Angeles. I forget the family and where country they came from. May have been Vietnam, but like the family came over to Los Angeles, immigrated to the country, and opened up a donut shop. And then that one guy that opened up that donut shop wound up helping all of these other families immigrate and open up donut shops. And so
those were like the donut shoe and the Mushi donuts.
Yes, yeah.
And
yeah. And so like in LA back in like the 50s and 60s, or maybe it was like 60s, 70s, it was like
there's a few of those donut spots in Rochester now. They pop up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they're good.
Yeah. They charge like $3 a donut too. It was like $18 for half a dozen.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Have you ever wanted to get into something completely different in food?
No, I'm a pizza-iol. That's what I'm not a chef. I'm not a baker.
Yeah.
It's what I was born into pretty much.
Yeah.
Being a pizza-iol.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's it like? I mean, what's the biggest day of the year now? Is it pre-Thanksgiving? Is it New Year's? Is it Super Bowl?
I mean, biggest day of the year could be any given Friday.
Really?
But, your Thanksgiving Eve is busy. Your Halloween is busy. Super Bowl, of course, is busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, not any particular day. Any given Friday could be your busiest day of the year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a Super Bowl Sunday at a restaurant that did 50-cent wings on Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, you're definitely going to get a...
Yeah.
But again, I don't know why you would put a promo out, because that's when people are going to be ordering anyways.
Right.
So...
Yeah. But we went through, just in the store that I was at, we did like 42 cases of wings that day. I mean, we had to do the math on like how many wings would fit in each basket and how many we could sell, like in a real amount of time. How many wings could we produce?
Right. I noticed more of a lot like Super Bowl. It's a busy day, but it's a busy 3 hours because all the orders are within a 3 hour span.
Exactly.
And that's where it gets hard.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. What do you think? Do you think there's anything new or coming up next in the pizza industry that you think will be like kind of super popular and pop off?
No, I think the traditional stuff is going to carry on. Like see a lot of these pizza influencers, a lot of videos that they're all making the pizza.
Yeah.
And it's the traditional stuff. I mean, there's really not much new the industry can do besides. I don't know what's some of the new stuff you're seeing. I'm stuck in my little bubble.
Yeah, I don't know. It varies because I follow a lot of like pizza stuff from all across the country, and so it depends. You've got like my favorite pizza that I've ever had is Luigi's out in Park Slope in Brooklyn, which is like some of the most traditional shit you'll see. Like he thinks putting sesame seeds around the edge of a pizza is like sacrilege. So
right.
So like his New York style, his Sicilian. Some of the best I've ever had in my life. But at the same time, Peels on Wheels in Rochester, who the guy Luis is out there fucking making his own mozzarella. He's
he does a great job over there.
Yeah.
And like I said, he's small, so he could specialize in that.
Yeah.
That stuff.
Yeah.
So he makes different bases.
Right.
And, he's good.
Yeah. I mean, if he puts bacon on a pizza, he makes the bacon.
Yeah, no. He's very more contemporary style.
Yes. Yeah.
Style pizza. Yeah.
So
He does a good job.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
I see some of that stuff popping up, but where it's like super focused on like we do this one style and that's it, and that's all we focus on. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
Again, a lot of people, they could put out a good specialty pizza, and it might be popular for a week.
Yeah.
But that it's very hard to find something that's going to be popular every single day.
Right. Yeah.
And
yeah. And pizza's pizza.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the more, I think the more traditional stuff is always going to stay, and then you're always going to see a flavor of the week, a flavor of the month.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and eventually something stays.
Yeah.
Like a big thing now is like the Mike's Hot Honey.
Yeah, for sure.
And you're seeing that, right? And I think that might be around to stay for,
Yeah.
that might be a staple.
Yeah. Yeah. Talk about a company that's blown up.
Yeah.
Honey. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
But again, there's always been something coming along, down the pike. It's shit that gets thrown against the wall and something sticks.
Yeah. All right. What do you think about Cam's Pizza and doing all their crazy slices of the week?
I mean, I saw one they put like a cheese pizza with like jelly worms on it or something.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, if it works for them, it works for them. But
Yeah.
I would never eat it.
I can't get behind that.
Right?
Yeah.
They put like Oreos on a cheese pizza. Like,
Yeah. Every week it's something stupid.
right?
Yeah. I don't know. It's surprising that works. But the daughter that runs that shop, she's got like 1 million subscribers on her social media account.
Yeah, and people on the internet like stupid stuff too.
Yeah, for sure.
So
They're like hot girls doing stupid stuff.
yeah, that's if you get a little bit of eye. So I mean,
Yeah. That's why people watch so many of my videos. Yeah. Well, Joe, listen, thank you so much for coming out, man. I appreciate it.
thank you very much, man.
Yeah. Great to talk with you.